This is the story of Qing Feng, who woke up in a parallel world in the past. Amidst the Southern Alliance's Yunyang base city, there was a colony made for lowly drifters. In it, a girl called Chu Chu broke Qing Feng's sleep, saying that he needed to report to Captain Chen. When he woke up, he called out her name and hugged her dearly, for she was dead in his world, and he thought he was dreaming. But Chu Chu slapped him for the abrupt hug, making him return to reality as he thought it might not be a dream. Then he looked around and found out that that day was 2019, 3 years in the past. Just at that moment, an abrupt headache brought many memories of this world, and he found out that this was a parallel world similar to his past world but yet different, as elemental power dominated the world instead of money and politics. In this world, elemental beasts ran rampant. While humans hide in the city, some of the humans awaken a dormant power within them called elemental ability, which lets them each control different elements. While Qing Feng was adapting himself to this world, Chu Chu again warned him that he needed to report to Captain Chen. Just at that moment, loud knocks were heard from the door as the captain barged in, while reprimanding Qing Feng for not going to the weekly meeting. Chu Chu replied in a shaking tone that Qing was about to leave for the meeting. The captain, a half-elementalist, said it was their turn for routine patrol for a week. When Qing asked why so soon since they were not even adults, Captain Chen said that it was the decision of the higher-ups as their guardian Zhuo Li died while patrolling the city when she encountered a Black Panther. Chu Chu immediately cried hearing it, and Qing Feng was even more surprised since Aunt Zhuo Li was killed in an accident by a black leopard car in his previous life, which is oddly similar to dying to a Black Panther. His guess of this being a parallel world was even more confirmed. The captain then added that according to the Zhuo Li's will, her pension would be left to the siblings as she didn't have any relatives alive. Qing Feng then thought that even if he could survive in the patrol outside of the base city, there's no way a girl like Chu would be able to make it out alive. Although they were both orphans and weren't related by blood, still, they grew up like a family. And he had already lost Chu Chu in the old world and should prevent history from repeating itself. So he asked the captain and said that he would do the job for Chu Chu. But the captain said that it was not possible since they were but drifters, and they must know that drifters are the lowest among the ranks of citizens, which goes from civilians, citizens, and elementalists. Moreover, since the food shortage is a huge issue in the city, the higher-ups won't allow any useless people to leech off of them. Then he told her that he could help her by promoting her to the citizen status, which would let her wait until she's 18 before she could become a citizen. And in order to promote her, he needs to earn promotion points by hunting vicious beasts, demonic beasts. But he warned that if one is not an elementalist, then they must never try that. Then he added that Qing Feng could also use a simple method which is using 10 million credits, which will advance her directly to the next level of status. Qing Feng was depressed, as even adding all their assets would just amount to a few thousand. And they couldn't even escape the city as the city was the safest place in this chaotic area. So Captain Chen said that if he could become an elementalist, then everything would be solved slowly, but he added that even he was just half elementalist. And before he left, he reminded the siblings to report in 3 days. In the room, Qing Feng comforted Chu Chu, who was crying, and said that he would become an elementalist no matter what it took. And his intense desire for strength awakened the dormant power in his body as a blue screen appeared in his vision. And it introduced itself as a divine elementalist training system, which made him excited beyond belief, as those with the talents to become an elementalist are exceedingly rare. And as soon as one is found to have talent, they would be raised from birth with the government's funding. So Qing Feng got into a quiet alley where no pedestrians walked and tested the system for what it could do. Then it began loading something, and when it finished loading, it showed him his talents, which were 0.7 at wind affinity, thunder affinity, and 0.5 at ice affinity. And the end result was that he didn't possess any substantial points in any of those affinities, as such unable to become an elementalist. Qing Feng complained, saying if he really had an affinity, then he would not be a drifter in the first place. Thus, the system gave out its first reward as a novice reward, which was wind affinity. Soon after, the talent of wind was fused with his body, which gave out a green aura symboling wind. What shocked him even more was the affinity that he was fused with was of a supreme rank, and he knew even the city lord of the Yunyang city base had only a genius rank affinity. Not to mention that most of the elementals across the world only possess average rank talent, and there are only 7 people in the world that have supreme ranked talents. And all of those 7 people became 9th start elementalist really fast thanks to their supreme grade talent, which made them the true controller of this world. But the system didn't finish giving out rewards, as it also gave him an elemental cultivation technique, along with an innate skill called Holy Grade Devour, which allows the host to devour any astral or demonic beast core. But the damn rewards were not finished, as a beast core of wind element ranking level 4 was also gifted. These beast cores are what fuel the energy of those monsters. Even the scientists are researching it thoroughly, and it was known all over that it was a bad idea to eat the cores directly. But if the skill from the system is as good as it is said, then he should be able to gain some benefits after devouring it. And just as he expected, after devouring it, the elemental wind energy permeated through his body as the system notification informed him that he had reached the late stage of the body-strengthening realm, which improved his wind cultivation by 84%. And once it reached 100%, he would be able to form the sacred wind seal and be able to become a 1-star elementalist. Then it shouldn't take long for him to become a 9-star elemental. Then a quest was issued by the system, which told him to let his wind cultivation base reach 100%, and it also gave out the choice of difficulty, which was proportionate to the rewards. The normal difficulty had a time limit of 3 days, and the reward was a storage ring. The mid difficulty had a time limit of 2 days, with prizes of a storage ring and a Thunder Beast core of grade 4. And lastly, the extreme difficulty had to be completed within only 2 hours, and it will enhance his thunder affinity along with the reward of the mid difficulty. He hurriedly calculated and found out that if grade 4 core can improve his cultivation to 84%, then he will need another grade 2 beast core to reach 100% completion, and if he could sum up 100,000 credits, then it would be possible to buy it. And with Aunt Zuo Li's 50,000 pension, he will be 50,000 short. Just as the system was counting down on his decision, he finally found a solution to his poverty and quickly accepted the extreme difficulty. An hour later, he arrived at the town center, which had a tall building. Despite living in the town for so long, it was his first time getting near the town center. His goal was to promote himself into an upper-class citizen by showing his wind affinity, gaining him incentive money. He was greeted by a receptionist who introduced herself as Zhao Liu. So he asked the receptionist about where he needed to go to become an upper-class citizen, which made the girl shocked, for he was too young to be thinking of being promoted to an upper-class citizen. Everyone was shocked as there was a big difference between an upper-class citizen and a common citizen, as an upper-class citizen would even be able to get away after killing a common citizen. And none would simply prank about wanting to become an upper-class citizen. So the receptionist believed him and asked him to follow her. In the VIP promotion lounge, the green-haired director named Wang Zheng asked Xiao Liu about Qing Feng, so she told him that he wanted to promote himself to an upper-class citizen. Even Wang Zhen was shocked, for Qing didn't look like a wealthy guy, and an upper-class citizen is usually someone wealthy or an expert, at least, at the body-strengthening realm. Then he was informed about the levels of upper citizenship and its requirements. It turned out that the early stage of body strengthening will have a monthly allowance of 10,000 with the first-class title, and the middle-class citizens are eligible for promotion to the second class with an allowance of 20,000, and a late stage can get a monthly allowance of 30,000, and lastly, the grand perfection stage experts of body strengthening who receive a monthly allowance of 40,000 with the fourth-class title. Then he was asked about his proof of strength or money, so he showed his control of the wind element and revealed the early level of the body-strengthening realm, which would promote him to the first rank. But Qing Feng told the director to not hurry as he revealed his late body-strengthening realm and asked to promote him to the third class. The receptionist and the director was both surprised because he was so young but already at the late stage of body strengthening. After the paperwork was finished, he received a promotion salary of 600,000. And of course, he will receive a monthly allowance of 30,000 credits, too. He was happy that he would be able to comfortably buy beast cores with this amount of money. He then also received a smartphone that had no call limit. He accepted it as no call limit function were a luxury in that day and age, but he didn't get drowned in the sudden joy since he needed to urgently complete the quest, so he left as the director and the receptionist saw him off. The director then told Xiao Liu that if Qing Feng came to the office again, then directly send him to the VIP office. Xiao Liu nodded and asked if the director could give Xiao Liu Qing Feng's phone number, but was rejected by the director as he said that she and Qing Feng were not of the same world anymore because someone as talented as Qin Feng wouldn't be contained by the Yunyang city. 1 hour later, near the Administrator Plaza in a random alley, Qin Feng took out a second-grade wind element beast stone that he bought for 100,000 and ate it, which activated his heavenly devouring skill as his assimilation of wind element reached 100%, which immediately completed his hard difficulty mission. When he checked his storage ring from the rewards, he was dumbfounded, for it was large enough to store an entire building, while the regular storage rings sold in the market were nowhere comparable to this. Then the next reward came as his dormant lightning affinity was increased, along with the promised grade 4 core of the lightning beast. He quickly devoured the core too, which improved his lightning element cultivation to 85%, and also leveled him up to the grand perfection of body strengthening. However, his prowess was beyond a body-strengthening perfection-level person, as they only have a battle prowess of around 100 points. In contrast, his battle prowess is around 243, which was the cause of having both thunder and the wind elemental cores. He was curious, thinking if he got a third element, how much would his prowess increase compared to the same rank? As though the system just read his memory, he was issued with a quest that told him to strengthen his body with ice elements too, which had no time limit, luckily. He couldn't help but dream about his future or how strong he could become with 3 elements compared to the other 9th star ranked masters. But his dream was broken by a call from his sister as she told him to hurry for dinner. But he instead asked her to an expensive restaurant and said that they would have dinner outside. In the restaurant, Chu-Chu was complaining about how it was a waste of money to be eating in this restaurant while they might just die in 3 days in patrol. But Qing Feng said to not worry and assured that he would promote Chu-Chu to the aristocratic citizen. Chu-Chu thought he was teasing her as even rich people aren't necessarily granted aristocratic citizenship. But Qin Feng said that he wasn't kidding, so Chu asked if he had struck any lottery recently. But before he could say anything, the TV turned on automatically with a piece of news that said Lin Tianyan from Yuanyang City had successfully become a 1-star elementalist as the youngest to become an elementalist. He was surprised and realized that people becoming 1-star elementalist at the age of 24 is deemed that much respect. So what would happen if people knew that he could become a 1-star elementalist when even younger than Lin Tian? Then Chu-Chu explained after watching the news that a lot of people only become elementalist after they are 40 to 50. But Ling Tian was worthy of being called the first genius of this base city, for he is just 24 and became an elementalist. He then said, "How come Captain Chen looked 30 if he was 45? Chu then explained that the lifespan of the elementalist increases after each rank up, so that makes them look way younger than they actually are. Then Chu-Chu left the topic and again asked if he had struck a lottery recently. So Qin Fang said that he became an upper echelon citizen as he showed her the ID card. Chu-Chu was shocked and asked how is that possible. Qin didn't say anything but said that she didn't need to know. She just needed to trust him. Chu-Chu hugged Qin Feng as she started crying. Qing Feng comforted her and told her to quit her job. Chu-Chu nodded and said that she would stay at home every day and cook good food. On the way home, when Qing was giving a piggyback to Chu-Chu, he finally remembered the identity of Lin Tianyang from his past life. Lin Tianyan was the brother of Lin Shuyang, and Lin Shuyang was the one who ran over and killed Chu-Chu in the future.